Is my screen viewable?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Yes, okay. We are live already on YouTube. Uh, Permit me to start recording now.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, wherever you are from Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja. Uh, Good evening to you all. I'm David, and also the one anchoring or facilitating today's session in the boardroom. It's a beautiful day, and we're having our special guests in the building, which will be introduced later on. So for today, we'll be having our session, which is taking the chapter 13 and chapter 14 of the book 0 to 1, and chapter 13 will be taken by Lady Afsat, and while chapter 14 will be taken by Lady Bukola, who will join us just shortly in the middle of this session, right? So, not to waste much time, and you know, we want to hear from our honorable speaker, Lady Afsat. It seems
Mm.
your screen is. Are you sharing? I can see your file manager showing.
Okay. I'm coming. Mm.
So maybe you should
Mm.
share the PowerPoints.
Okay, I should share the PowerPoint with you.
Okay, you can share the PowerPoint with me, or you could share from the PowerPoint, not and instead of because what is showing now on our screen here is the file manager instead of the PowerPoint slide of your presentation.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Let me stop sharing. I've stopped sharing. So can I
Okay.
forward my the
Okay.
presentation to you?
Yes, you can send it to me so that I'll just present from there.
Okay. Let me do that right
Sorry
away.
for the
No, it's
delays.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Mhm. You'll receive it right away.
Okay, I've seen it. So chapter 13, which
Yes.
is the title or the topic is seeing green.
Yes.
So how do you see the green light? We will dive into it shortly. So I'm
Mm.
opening it on my system here already.
Okay.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, okay. Rest right away. I would share your screen so you can take it up from there.
Okay.
All right. Next person's voice you will be hearing is Lady Afusat voice, and she'll be taking the presentation of chapter 13 from the book 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel and Blake Masters. This talks
Yes.
about green tech or seeing the green light. All right. Over to you, ma.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. David. Good evening, business readers. The title of my the chapter I'm about to give you a summary of is titled Seeing Green. And the author, Peter Thiel, with Black Master, began the, the title with a case study, the 21st century case study, where some nations encountered natural disasters, such as Bangladesh, who experienced the arsenic water wells. There was US equally experienced Hurricane Ivan and that of Katrina, as well as I think Beijing, the smog in Beijing that time. So entrepreneurs saw the opportunity to come up with sustainable solutions on green energy, or coming up with innovations, how to solve these challenges. Because even the New York Times, I think that of Bangladesh was captured as the most poisonous disaster in greatest human history that year. So, but what happened? A lot of people saw the opportunity to start up with business. Innovators came in, investors. It was just like a boom. Unfortunately, this business crashed because innovators that time only looked at the opportunity to produce um, incremental solutions, not really innovations. And Peter Thiel emphasized that it's not that not it's not as if the opportunity was not there, or they never looked into the whole idea, or their ideas were wrong, but they lacked the 7 principles of building a business. So the chapter revolves around this case study of clean tech entrepreneurs. And then he emphasized that as business owners or innovators, if we are, as an innovator, you have to look at these 7 principles of, of business before your business can be successful. And each of these principles, make sure you you look into it in details. Itemize your risk, take up your strategies, know the right timing before you can excel. So please, you can keep on. Let's go to the question. So the the business generally, these principles, he started with the engineering question. Now, the engineering question, he talked about the aspect of, as a business, as an innovator, you you have to, like, whatever you are inventing, don't just invent it on making incremental improvements. Let it be that you are producing a product 10 times better than what is in existence. Let me give you an illustration. For example, now, an an innovator that has a can that is trying to make a candle more useful, it should last longer, and then there should be less flame, and it should come out brighter. You should use it in such a way that it will last longer, less flame, and it should be brighter. Unlike an innovator that will invent a bulb that will give you light even without electricity. So you see, the difference now is You are ready to make 10 times improvement than what is already in existence. Obviously, candle has been in usage, but the changes that has was brought up for the use of candle now as an innovator is the innovator is only trying to make incremental improvement. That's what he means by that's what he meant by incremental improvement, not a 10 times better product than even the candle in existence or any other product available. So anything you are launching, make sure it's something that is going to be sustainable and it will last long. So the next slide. The next principle, he talked about the timing question. So the case study he used for clean energy was entrepreneurs saw the opportunity and they had these innovations on ground, but was it the right time? Is it the right time for them to start bringing out their inventions? Have they checked the market? Is the market ready to buy these products? The market itself, is it ready to buy their products? That's another challenge they experienced, which made most of the businesses fail. The next slide, please. Now, monopoly question. The clean tech, in the author, he mentioned that he even used this cylindrical illustration whereby there was a tech company that produced solar panels, and he now made it in a cylindrical shape. That way, he was not creating monopoly. He was not creating monopoly because instead of making making it instead of focusing on focusing on solving solutions to smaller groups or smaller community, his focus was on the global markets. And the author emphasized that for businesses to succeed as an innovator, you have to start small so that you can penetrate your market gradually, understand what the market needs, dominating a niche, yes, establishing a strong presence, then building your right team, ensuring product delivery, which is very important. So why that solar panel, that cylindrical shape, he only made incremental changes and he now penetrated the global market rather than channeling it to smaller groups. Unlike other innovators that produce flat solar panels and they were able to focus on smaller communities, which made them excel. Next slide, please. Now, the people question. This is where you see he emphasized on your team, the team members, as founders, as innovators, your team. Are you focusing on competency or are you focusing on competence, business builders, or rather than just you are just having politicians around you? You need to have the right team. That's what he emphasized on. So clean tech and the entrepreneurs that period, most of them never had the right team. Is one of the reasons why businesses fails. He even in the author, I remembered when I was reading chapter 7, it's talking about founders. That chapter 7 of the book talks about founders, where there's he captured it as founders matrimony. So as founders, when you have If you are not having the right team, definitely you experience an irreconcilable differences that will the company itself will become the victim. That's your invention, your business or your product becomes the victim since there's no alignment. Your team are not aligning, and there's no alignment towards the vision, skill diversification, clear communication, and collaborative efforts. So he emphasized that as innovators, you need to have the right team on ground, on board, just like we have in business leaders. This is the next slide. Now, distribution question. Clean tech companies that period, the book revealed that they had challenges in terms of market strategy. As innovators, you have to have strategies how you can penetrate the markets, not just having, no matter how good your ideas are, no matter how rich your products can look, if you cannot penetrate the markets, be rest assured that that invention can fail. He made an illustration with um, this car battery, um, I think yes, car battery, where the innovators had invented a car that was using a battery, and they came up with a lot massive infrastructure. Even after inventing the car, they had stations where you can charge the batteries. But then the market was not ready for all of this because they did not have the strategy where they can even meet their customers. So he emphasized on market access, logistics optimization, customer engagement, strategic partnership. That way, you will be as an entrepreneur, you will be able to penetrate your market with good strategy in such a way that your product can sell itself. Next slide, please. Now, the durability question. Um, the author mentioned that whatever you are producing, your product should be able to, you need to have a vision that it can last 20 years from now. Look at it for future purpose, not necessarily solving the current solution, giving out current solution. It should be an invention that can last longer. That is for it should be for a long-term goal. It should have market resilience, collaborative innovation, long-term strategy, visionary leadership as well. Next slide. Okay. The secret question is more of the unique opportunities about your products. It's talking about what is that secret your business have that others are not seeing. That's what Peter Thiel emphasized on. As an innovator, you should have a secret that nobody is seeing, and that's the secret that is making you successful in your business. It's making your business to thrive. So identifying unseen opportunities is very vital. Don't copy from others. Look at what is so unique. Focus on what others are not doing. That way, you are creating a very standard and sustainable monopoly. Nobody will compete with you, and you become successful. Next slide. Now, entrepreneurial takeaways. He emphasized on having the right team, the right timing as well. Make sure your product is ready for the market is ready for your product. No matter how good your ideas are, have the right timing. And the solutions you are trying to offer, it should be 10 times better off than what is already available. So that's generally the takeaways. Is 7 in number: engineering question, the timing, the secrets question, um, the people as well. That's your team members, and it should be durability. There should be secret as well. So, as entrepreneurs generally, this he mentioned that the clean tech companies, what really affected them mostly is not as if they have bad ideas or bad inventions that period. Most of them was just they were all into they were following the crowd. They okay, this is an opportunity, let me just start. They relied more on indefinite optimism. He mentioned that in his book too. It was more of like a miracle will happen. Let me just start it. Something will come out of it, no matter what. So as entrepreneurs, he emphasized that this 7 principle has to be, you have to look into it in details and then stick to it, follow it as a guide to enable you become successful. Next slide. I think that's my conclusion. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Lady Afsat. You really did amazing with churning out these chapters 13 for us. I mean, you really did well with this. I really simply love it so much, so much, so much. Which is, seeing the green light. I mean, you've led us to see the green light of being an entrepreneur, right? What it takes, the 7 steps. Those 7 steps can be like, the 7 commandments for an entrepreneur because they are all step by step, right? If you miss one step, the business will lose the foundation solid. Uh, Very, 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 very great one. Please let's give Lady Afsat our flowers in the comments or in the chat box rather. Let's drop our emojis, our flowers, our love. Let's shower her with all we've got. Yeah. I'm seeing rocket. Let me use rocket for her. Yes. Using my rocket and my confettis. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for that. That's simply amazing. Okay, in order not to waste much time, we have Lady Bukola also in the building. Kindly say hello to us, Lady Bukola, if you can hear us and you are able to speak.
Hi, good evening,
Good
Boardroom
evening.
members. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear
we
you
can.
clearly.
Good evening,
I hear
everyone.
you clearly. Good evening.
I first of all let me apologize for my unavoidable unavailability for quite a while now. It's been a whole lot of pressure on me, and then I'm currently in the hospital. I've been doing the nanny job for an aunt who's going through an amputation, and it's really been stressful for me. I have to take care of my mom and this woman, and I stay with her at the hospital. It's really been overwhelming for me. And then, so I'm going to be brief. I mean, considering where I am, I may be called upon anytime, but I will try and see if I can do a little justice to the chapters, to responsibility before me. So, Princess and David and everyone else, um, Mr. Tony, welcome to the country. I'll collect my chocolate later. So thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I might have to mute my mid video because of where I am. So for the last time, let me confirm that we all can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. So you are
Am
taking
I
the
am I
chapter 14. Yes, the
yes, I'm
founder's
aware.
paradox. Yes.
Yes,
David, if I may come in,
Okay.
Buki, before you take, I don't know if you're short for time, but let's give Lady Absat her flowers first and her
Yes,
juice
yes.
and give her feedback very quickly before we jump into your section, if that's okay.
It's okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's still drop our flowers.
Dr. Morayo, good evening and welcome. Buki, we send you love and flowers. Let me
Good
also
evening,
welcome
everyone.
Joy Gochuku, who is joining us for the very first time. Very prompt, very timely. You're welcome, ma'am. Welcome to the
Thank
boardroom.
you.
This is where we
Thank you.
learn and share ideas and groom ourselves. This is where we actually develop ourselves. I call it the boot camp for professionals. So I want to give flowers to Lady Afsat. I know your topic was about going green or seeing green, and we actually saw green. Your slides were really beautiful. I was mesmerized. Even though I was talking on the phone and it was inevitable, I had to pick up that call. But your slides were so captivating. You know, there are different shades of green. This was really beautiful green, the green that makes you want to feel really rich, right? Um, I don't know if you can turn on your camera. So um, in terms of your slides were really beautiful. I love it. It was magical. And your expository submission was really great because you really walked us through, even for someone who had not read the book, I'm sure you brought, an understanding to that particular chapter. I only have one comment. I have one comment. Don't lose us when you're presenting. I love your hand gesture moment. So you did all the hand gesture, but sometimes you tend to, keep your face down a little bit and, you are not looking in a direction, even though we are joining you virtually. I'm a virtual coach. And that was how I started my, major part to training. As a virtual coach, we're supposed to feel like we're in the same room with you, right? So you see how I'm talking to you. It feels like you're just seated in front of me. Don't lose us. And I need you a little bit to come with some energy,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
some life, you know, and, so just push that energy into it. One of the tricks I normally use is that if I'm going to do a presentation, it is timed. So even if I'm shy, I will lose my shyness and go on stage for the next 15 minutes. So you're doing a presentation for 30 minutes, know that you is your core time. Imagine Beyonce going on stage and feeling shy. You think we'll pay money to come and see Beyonce, Abby? What do you think? Yeah, you see that smile. So I wanted that smile. That smile with seeing green is there's supposed to be a correlation. What do you think, David? There
Yes,
should be a
yes, I also think that, aside from the slide being very awesome, the spicy part of being a good presenter too has to be that you are well focused and there's no too much distraction, and your eyes is fixed on the camera so that it seems like it's very immersive to people that are watching you. I know that some people are not on their audio, some people might be driving and they are hearing you guys, but some people, just by seeing you, they pay much attention to it. So I mean, overall, I mean, it's also like, a good one for me. uh so far so good. But that's just my additional take on what Princess has said.
So I want to see you do that next time. Put that to use next time. Give us that smile that we know you for. Relax a little bit. It's showtime, it's showtime. Go for it. Kill it. Come back and feel, ah, okay, I've done it. Let me wear back my shyness. And then you take your shy clothes and wear it again, you know? You know what I mean? So
Yes.
just tweak it in your brain that, okay, after that I become shy again.
It gets better
it gets
time by
better
time by
as you
time.
continue. Let me yap David. I used to remember when David joined the boardroom, we had no light, so you can even see his face. He's sitting like a boss. He's presenting. He's anchoring. I'm like, David, come on, David. See David now. The light is shining on his. He's already getting developing boy hair or whatever they call it, and now he's still shining light on his head. That's magical. No comment. All right, David, over to you. Please welcome Lady Bukola to the floor.
All right. Without further ado, our next speaker will be taking us on the next chapter, chapter 14 of the book, 0 to 1, which the topic is the founder's paradox, would be Olubukola. And she's right here on the call. And Olubukola, over to you. You have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Good evening, everyone, once again. I do not have a slide, or I do not have slides, unfortunately, and I do hope that I would be able to drop a few things that I have been able to profit from reading this book. Fortunately, this morning when David messaged me, I had the confidence to say I will take up the session because one of my nephews, coincidentally, is writing his thesis, and this book seems, it's part of the 4 books he's reviewing. So we've been through it a couple of times. Yeah, like I've been through this book like a couple of times with him and other books. So that's actually what gave me the nerves to say, okay, David, I will try, even though I do not have any material or any presentation. So I do hope the house would forgive me for not having my slides and my presentation. Next time it would be better. So the book 0 to 1, whilst going through all the chapters, I have a few chapters that actually captivated me. But I would begin by saying that building businesses in this age has gone beyond doing it anyway or anyhow. And we've gone beyond the trial and error mode when we just try anything. For me, I think I'm going to start preaching this or changing the narrative of believing that the more you fail, the more you get better. We all believe in this and that you keep trying, the more failures you have, then you're closer to your success. But I think we should disbelieve that and try to cut it off. The reason why I say that is because resources are very scarce. Resources are limited. We have very limited resources available for venturing into businesses and investments. So any available resources we have must be strategically applied. I don't know if you're getting me, and we have to minimize any form of mistakes or blunder that would result from any waste into a waste of effort. So clearly, what I'm trying to say here is this: today, I've been asked to dissect chapter 14, which is the founder's paradox. However, I read through this book and I found out that chapter 13 and chapter 14 are linked. If you've taken time to read the 2 chapters, I love the way the author put it. The 2 chapters are linked together. There's no way you're going to talk about chapter 14, or whoever is going to talk about chapter 14 that would not talk about chapter 13. Yeah, they are linked. And one thing that linked them is this, what the last speaker just mentioned, that's the theme of applying the 7 core business questions. And today I'm going to try to see if I can apply those 7 questions to real world scenarios. I hope I would have time to do that because they are so unique. Founders are very unique individuals. And I'm going to speak on chapter 14. Without me touching chapter 13, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. At least maybe a fragment of it. You see, 0 to 1 uses this failed clean tech bubble as a case study. I think we all know. to present these 7 crucial questions. Every startup business should answer the questions. I'm going to be a little bit different from the way the last speaker, lady, what's her name again? Please, I don't want to be saying
Afsat.
last week. Afsat highlighted those things. I will be brief, and I'm going to eventually link these things into chapter 14. Please follow me. It's very important. I want to link these 2 chapters together. You won't thrive on chapter 14 if you don't link chapter 13 into it. Now, listen up. These crucial questions begin with the engineering. I like the way Lady Aspat explained the question. He says, is your technology a breakthrough? Do you get that? He went further to say, to go to the timing question. Excuse me, let me remove this thing in my mouth. I have a flu, so I was taking Tom. So so the timing questions you ask yourself as an entrepreneur or as a business person, is it the right time for you to launch a product? Is it the right time for you to launch, for you to change price? That question is not, is it encompasses so many things about your product. Is it the right time to launch, to increase price, to reduce price, to introduce into another market, to change design, to just to do anything to your design? The next question, and this is what really eats me. As an entrepreneur of over 20 years, I have made this mistake 1,000,001 times. And this is a question that I have failed to ask. And it's the same question that a lot of business people fail to ask. And it's the same question that this case study that the author used failed to ask. It's their major failure cause. And that is the monopoly question. He says, can you start with a big share of a small market? That is very tricky. I'll explain. Many times when investors or when you want to start a business, some people are fortunate to have the funding, the capital. They have huge capital. They don't have problem of resources or capital. And there's this thing that gets into founders' head. Yeah, we have enough money. We can capture the markets. Let's go monopoly. Let's infuse our fund. Let's put in the money. We can chase, we have the funding. We have seen the balance sheet of Nigerian breweries. We have seen the balance sheet of of Golden Penny. We have more money. What is their P&L? What is he reading? Let's go and dominate. Let's enter the markets. Let's monopolize. Founders make that problem. Then there's the people question, which says, do you have the right team? Founders should ensure that they have the right team. Another question that is the distribution question that you ask if you can deliver your product. I like the way Lady Amsat explained that thing. But what happens after distribution? The durability. And that's another place where we make mistakes. Many of us cut corners. Let's be very honest. Even to the world, even to products that we think are premium or high end, even iPhone. I'll give you an instance. Even iPhone, that is Apple today, cannot 100% boast that they have high durability for their products. Remember, I told you I'm going to use examples that we can relate with. Why do we have Apple China? Why do we have Apple in other countries? We all know where Apple originates from. But because of this durability, and it's not really because they have fine, they have their target markets, but they need to service different markets with different quality of products. But one thing that founders must be able to answer is that my product can stand the test of time. Lady Hafsa said 20 years, maybe even more. So lastly, the secret question of identifying a unique opportunity for others that others have missed. Founders need to identify that opportunity that others cannot see. You see, these questions, they highlight that most clean tech companies failed because they neglected these, their fundamental areas. They are fundamental questions that are particularly creating truly innovation in technology. But when you focus on the right markets, for instance, let's say for me, I could run a hotel for years, for over a decade, but I missed the fundamental question, especially the monopoly question. When I was coming into the hospitality business, I had the funding. I came in, I said, yeah, this is my competition. I picked a particular hotel in my area of establishment. I said, yeah, this is the person I want to compete with because I felt I had enough, capital to compete with such a hotel. Forgetting that this hotel has been in existence decades before I came. So the question, especially the most question, is majority of failures we have experienced is failing to answer the monopoly question. And because we believe we have an abundance of resources in terms of funding and capital, we already have the capacity to start with a big share of the market. Is a zero, is no. Now, I just summarized chapter 13. I want to link it to chapter 14 now. I love the way the author gave us this. For me, is the solution. Well, chapter 14 is even the concluding part of the book. So if he had brought us far from chapter 1 up till now, come on, the guy has to give us a solution to all these problems, all the questions we all have as entrepreneurs, as businessmen, as investors. So I'm happy that he came up with the founder's paradox. I'm sure we all know what paradox means, but if you don't know it, I'll give us an assignment. Go and look it up and check what it means to be paradox, what paradox means. I think I learned about it in literature decades ago. So we all know what paradox means. So the founder's paradox for me is to the rescue. Are we all following? Because I'm going to go off in a while. So
Yes, we are.
the first lesson I picked in this chapter is still linked to chapter 13, which is the monopoly question. David, I'm telling you categorically, chapter 14 is the only chapter that admonishes founders to be wary of their own myths and not overestimate themselves, overestimate their power. Yes. Reason is this, let me explain what it means, what the author meant by overestimating their willpower. It means that overestimating one's willpower could mean like is a common pitfall for founders. It can lead to burnout, exhaustion, and failure to delegate. Did you get that? So founders have the higher tendency to overestimate their willpower. They believe they can do it. They have the resources. They have the behavioral pattern to go for it. So I don't know if you all can connect this question to the warning that the chapter is bringing to us. See, founders often possess these contradictory and extreme traits that they explore. If you read in that book, even though the chapter argues that these traits are peculiar qualities and necessary for driving a company beyond incremental progress, I feel that founders must not overestimate their willpower. So let me define paradox so that you will understand what I'm saying better. According to the dictionary or literature, paradox is a seemingly absurd or contradictory statement or proposition which, when investigated, may prove to be well founded. So now, briefly, I'll get into founder's paradox. By definition, the author says founders paradox refers to the contradictory challenges founders face, such as needing to deeply involve themselves in every detail to set the standard. Listen here, to set the standard, yet also needing to delegate and remove themselves from daily operations as the company grows. Can you see the contradictory there? How can you say you have to set the standard? Then as the company is growing, you have to reduce your operations, you have to begin to delegate. I'm sure some of us can relate with this. Founders must balance their initial hands-on role with the need to empower others, create system, and focus on the company's future vision instead of the day-to-day tasks. Now, let's look at it this way. How do you treat everyone differently and still treat them the same? Are you following me? Good. And at the same time, the founder is supposed to create a structure with clear set of values. And these values must apply to everyone while engaging with people differently. God will help founders. God will really help us. So, and then going further, the key aspects of the founders paradox, we have a whole lot of them, which, to be very honest, I'm not sure I have the time to do it because I can see my patient is beeping at me, but I'm just going to go straight to the lessons for business and for this society that we should learn from this chapter, founders paradox. We cannot do without founders, and we should be more tolerant of them. They may seem strange or even extreme, but the chapter says that we need them. We need their unusual behavior, and we need them to lead company beyond what we expect, beyond more growth and all of that. So the lesson founders are already highlighted that they should not overestimate their own power. And even though founders are important too, because they are the ones that bring out the best work from everybody, and then they bring out the best in us, they delegate, they do everything. But it does not necessarily mean that they are the only ones whose work has value. Everyone's work and input in the system has value. So while I was reading this book, I thought of I mean the author Steve used a whole lot of instances, a whole lot of names and examples, which if I had time to prepare my slide, I would have, you know, included them one way or the other. But when I thought of concluding this, I wouldn't do without mentioning Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. I mean, these were examples of founders whose we know that their singular visions drove significant achievements. We can all see we've experienced their work, we've experienced their investments, their innovations over the years, decades back and still decades to come. We have experienced their singular visions that have thrown significant achievement, and we can all see it. So, but I'm going to add Dangote to the list if I'm permitted, and he is a founder whose paradox with his eccentric behavior has put the entire globe, that is Nigeria, and the globe by doing what the government couldn't do for years. I mean, he built the world's largest single train refinery in Lekki, Lagos. So now that is a difference engine factor that was emphatically mentioned in chapter 14. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, Bukola. Thank you very much for that. Very insightful section, very insightful topic as well. Thank you very much. Please let's give our flowers. Let's give our diamonds. Give our flowers, diamond. love and what everything. Let's give it to her. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Wow, wow, wow. Founders paradox. We can't do without founders. You know, we can't do without them. And I mean, I love how she also tied back chapter 13 to chapter 14 as well. At this point, if you have any questions, right, the window is open for us to ask. If you have any addition to it, this is the floor, this is the time. We can do that now. Princess, you have anything to add?
Wow, I do have quite a lot. It felt like I was in a professor's class in Harvard. Like, who sent me messages nights? How did you guys feel? Ha, Olu Bukola, you are in the hospital care. Kí ló dé? It felt like I was in a professor's class. She even wanted to take the whole book summary, like from one to the end. Only God, we were even praying that, okay, just keep it simple, stay at 13 to 14. Wow, we shouldn't have come to class. Oh, Bookie, that was brilliant, by the way. That was a
Thank you.
beautiful summary, given your situation. And, I think you said it in the introduction that you already started reading the book. So it's quite an interesting read. Unfortunately for me, I I've been very busy in the last couple of weeks, so I've not really sat down to dissect this particular book. But every time I flip through, there's quite a lot to unpack from the book. And you just made that summary, both of you, Lady Afsat and also Buki, you made that summary really come to light. The two of you gave a very powerful um, summary of the book. So thank you very much for that. And Buki, thumbs up for your presentation, even though you don't have the slides to back it up. But it was a beautiful expository, very enlightening, well thought out. I thought you had a full screen in front of you when you were speaking, to be able to, you know, conduct yourself in such professional manner, even though you're in the hospital, and to show up. Showing up is already 80% win. And to show up to give this presentation is very thoughtful of you. Thank you for, being in the boardroom at this time. Um, yeah, I was looking at the book and I saw the founder's paradox and I decided to flip through, and it's quite interesting because the book really talked about different personality of the founders. Some are extreme and all of that. You really expose the paradox part of it. How do you found and bring standard, and yet you have to, carry everybody along, still delegate, still be the best of individual that you can possibly be. I think that is where growth is important, because as you grow, there are different stages of a startup. As you grow, you tend to also adapt, and become quite different. When you start up a business, you always would have to do everything as a founder. And I've been there, and a lot of us in this room have been there. You do practically everything. You bend over backwards to make sure that your business, your startup is running. You sacrifice yourself for the business. Nobody sees all of that, right? But as the business takes off, you're expected to hands off a little bit, to give people, to delegate, to let them showcase their skills also. It's not very easy for a founder. And I think that is the biggest paradox. The book mentioned a lot of celebrity royalty, mentioned a lot of great founders, the likes of um, what's his name again? Richard Branson, is that, yeah? Michael Jackson. Quite a lot of founders were mentioned. The PayPal team, which was discussed, I think it was highlighted by David in his discussion. So the book actually talked about quite a lot of founders, and I'm glad that you even had to reference our own very entrepreneur from our region and climb. So thank you for doing that. And I would also advise for those of us who didn't read this book to just go back and read it, especially if you are, an entrepreneur or you're thinking to start up. One of the key takeaway from Buki's presentation was to ensure that you don't make that kind of mistake because resources are limited. We do think that we grow through mistakes, but because we are avid readers, we're learning constantly, and these are great books to reference. If you read all these books that we have read, the Lean Startup, 0 to 1, books like Traction, as a business owner, that really guides you, when you are starting up your business. And I think if you have such leverage, you would not make the kind of mistakes that you would necessarily make if you are unaware of your terrain or ill-informed, right? Because these books, they're meant to enlighten you and give you practical framework so that you can use it for business, for your businesses. Yeah, so that's just my contribution. Thank you very much to both presenters tonight. You made the day worth it for me. Thank you, Lady Afsat, and also Buki. I was actually looking forward to the day, and I think you made it worth it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nella
All
wants to
right.
say something. She's already unmuted herself.
Yes. Thank you, Princess. I'm so sorry I can't turn my camera on. I had to go out to get something. So right now I'm in a supermarket somewhere. I'm just waiting for something. So I can't turn my camera on. I apologize once again. So thank you so much, Hafsat and Lady Bukola, for your beautiful presentations. Hafsat, I loved your slides. Yes. And then, while you were presenting, I realized that a lot of times when we read some of these books, sometimes we feel it is abstract because a lot of these business owners have grown big. They're usually known worldwide, globally. So sometimes when we hear some of these things, we feel they may not be applicable to our businesses. But the truth is, I realize that, looking at the 7 takeaways from chapter 14, and then the main points the 7 takeaways from chapter 13, and then the main points from chapter 14, I realized that the truth is these are things that we can apply on a small scale, really, on a micro level, and then applying them at that small scale with the intention of building a business that lasts is what really matters. So it's something we business owners, and I think for life generally, not just in business, these are things that we should begin to really look at and see how we can apply them on a micro level, especially for our small and medium scale businesses. These are things that will actually work. So thank you so much for giving us a summary of chapter 13 and chapter 14. Beautifully done. And I'm already looking forward to the next read for the business readers. And for our new members, once again, you're welcome. And we hope that you'll begin to start presentations soon. So thank you for those presentations. And over to you, Princess.
Thank you very much, Nella. It was actually David who was facilitating. So, David, if I have your permission, let me also welcome Joy. Joy, I would like you to say a few words before I go to Dr. Murayo. Dr. Murayo, are you still in Lagos? Yes, Joy.
Good evening once again, everyone. I'm happy to be here. This is my fourth day, still learning, but so far so good. I've not read the book, but at least I've gotten 1 or 2 things from the book already. If you're starting a business, your distribution channel, the secret question, and others. I've really gotten something today, and I hope to improve myself, and I want to learn more. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello.
There's already
I'm
a
back.
challenge. Okay, Dr. Murayo, are you
Yeah.
back to Abuja?
Yes, I'm in Abuja now.
You need to take me out, to madam. You're owing me. You're owing me out. Let me say it in the open glare because I know that David is ultimately he's jealous because he cannot be in Abuja. Our Abuja wavelength is different. Yeah, sorry, David. There's no hope for you. There's nothing you can do about this one. Yeah.
No
So, Dr.
problem.
Murayo,
Don't worry,
good to
don't
have you
worry.
back.
Yeah, thank you.
God can do something for me this December, and I'll just show up. I'm being
You're almost
optimistic.
scattered. Dr. Murayo, over to you. Is Doctor there?
Hello.
Yeah. Any comment, input,
No
feedback?
comment. I'm
Feedback
busy.
for
No,
presenter.
but they did very well. Like, for the first timer, no, this is a good one. They tried.
Buki is not a first timer. Even Absat self, she's
Yeah.
already started owning her skills, man. This
Wow.
is the second or third time Absat is presenting, right?
I think
Second,
it's the first time I'm listening to her.
This is
right?
my second
Yeah.
time.
Second time, yes. And her
Yeah,
slides
this
Yes.
is
second time.
the slides is something else. She's already
It's
gone
like that.
nuclear now.
Captivating. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Lady Absat, you're going to be doing all my slides. We have resigned. Founders, founders paradox. I'm not doing slides anymore. All slides will be sent to you. Is that okay? So that brings us to the end of this book, 0 to 1. HOD book review. Please, can we have the next read and also the schedule immediately so that we can plan? I think we are behind schedule because up until now, as we speak, we still have perhaps 4 books in our library to end the year, or 3 or 4. I think so. I'm just quickly checking the website. So if I check the website, we have done mastering 0 to 1. So we are going to Blue Ocean Shift. This is going to be interesting because a lot of us, a lot of us have experienced the Blue Ocean strategy. So it's from the same writers, and we're going to Blue Ocean Shift. So please, we still have 4 books. The Art of Explanation, Negotiate Like a CEO, Thinking Fast and Slow. These are all great books. So we have to finish them this year. And this is already November 6th. So please, we don't have time. We need to finish Blue Ocean in November. And December, we usually close early. So let's see how we can progress. David, your last word and closure. You're muted.
All right, okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I mean, today has been an insightful one. I mean, it's a very good way to end the book with, I think, with the two ladies, Lady Afsat and Lady Bukola. And Lady Bukola always called the shot because of, I think she has this voice that always command people to always listen, and it's very, very attention grabbing to her. So very, very good. I mean, it's a lesson that we all need to take, we all need to learn from the 7 steps of seeing the green light, or seeing the spotting the green light, to also understanding founder's paradox. It was very insightful. Thank you all for joining. I really enjoyed also facilitating or anchoring this session too as well. Thank you all for joining us. The other days, I mean, the days where the day would start, I mean, the book would also be shared. The next book we'll be reading will be shared as well, right? And we'll keep you posted with any other information you need to know.
David, I raised my hand. So very quickly,
Yes,
there's
okay.
something you mentioned that I want to speak to. So And I think we can learn from it. Lady Bukola does it very nicely. And you talked about the way she uses her voice and her tone. And also the way she calls out someone in the screen. It makes it look like, okay, wake up, I'm talking to you. By the time you say, oh, Dr. Morayo, the person pays attention. So when she said that, David, I was like, hey, David, you're in trouble. Like, yeah, wake up. Everybody just woke up. Like, what happened? Why did that is a way to actually engage your audience. When you call out someone's name in the audience, everybody quickly pays attention. And I think that is a very good skill to have. So thank you for mentioning that.
Yes. All
So
right.
we've come to a close. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. And this has brought us to a close. We're about 9 minutes late into our time, but I'm so happy I came and I dedicated time today to be able to spend in the boardroom to learn. I love learning a lot. I love this, this way of developing myself. I love it a lot because you learn new vocabulary, and it's not just the vocabulary. You learn from other people. You sharpen your own sword, by learning from others. So it's been a great evening. Thank you once again. We look forward to the new read in the boardroom, and I hope that the schedule will be out quickly so that we can finish that book before the end of the month. Thank you very much, David.
Thank
And
you.
bye-bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Have
Bye,
a
everyone.
peaceful night rest. Bye.